Hi students, today is Tuesday, June 9th, 2020 or 2020. Today we're going to talk about your assignments. So I do want to remind you that you need to read for 20 minutes. It doesn't all have to be at once. You can break it up throughout the day. Okay, so let's talk about reading. So I'd like you to watch the articulation video, which just shows you how to say the double O sound. And remember, it has two sounds. It makes the and the oo sound. So go ahead and watch that to hear words that have those sounds in them. Then you're going to read the text, A Room for Mouse, and I've got it open over here. You're probably going to want to start on page 2 like I have here. Let's go back to the cover so you can see it. I want you to try to read this book because it's got a lot of the double O sounds in it. And so I think it'd be fun to try to apply that new skill that you have. If you're having a hard time, feel free to click the play button. You're probably going to want to make sure you hit that auto on button so the computer turns the pages for you. And depending on how quickly you want the computer to read to you, can have it all the way up to fastest speed or lower it down for slower speeds. Okay, let's go back to our schedule. After that, you can do the word routine with the words does, another, wash, and some. So let's take a look at the word routine. So you've done this before. You're just going to read the word. Then you're going to spell the word. Then you're going to write the word. And as you write the word, you will say the names of the letters out loud and then say the name of the word at the end of writing it each time. It says to do this 3 times. I would like you to do it 5 times because that's what we would be doing in class. And then the last step is to apply. So that means you need to come up with a sentence and use the word in it. You want to challenge yourself, go ahead and write the sentence down too. And you're going to do that with these 4 words that I read earlier: does, another, wash, and some. Then you've got some high frequency word songs to listen to: what, some, and does. Okay, now let's talk about writing. So for writing, you're going to answer these questions that pertain to a room for mouse. I said mouse earlier, a room for moose. Let's read what those questions are. What kinds of goods do the animals sell? What do the other animals do for moose? How does moose feel at the end of the story? And how do you know that? All right, now let's talk about grammar. So for grammar, you are going to be reviewing expanding sentences. You're going to be working with declarative and exclamatory sentences today. Declarative sentence is just like a statement. For example, I am sitting at my desk. Exclamatory is something, a statement that has feeling or excitement, like I can't wait, and you use an exclamation point. Remember, when you expand, you give more detail, you make it longer. So I am sitting quietly at my desk adds a little more detail. It makes it a longer sentence. I can't wait to see the movie also adds more detail, and it makes the sentence longer. It expands it. You're going to do that with these 5 sentences. I'm going to read these words that are in the boxes here. These are the words you're going to use to add to each sentence. Now, just as a reminder, all of these can be standalone sentences, just meaning that they are a complete sentence on their own, but we can add just more detail to them. Here we go. Number 1, we are going to the orchard. Number 2, I like apples the best. Number 3, Mom will use some apples. Number 4, I love pie. And number 5, I will take an apple. And so for your words in the box, they are for pie, to pick apples, sweet red, in my lunchbox, with ice cream. Okay, and then down here, we're working with words that have the and the oo sound. Some of these words don't have that in them, but they're still part of the spelling words. So the words are another, bloom, does, good, hook, shook, smooth, soon, tooth, and wood. So you're going to write the correct spelling word for each clue. Let's do number 1 as an example. It starts like sad and ends like noon. So what that tells me is that it starts with an S and it's got that double O, ooh sound that noon does. And it ends like noon, so it's got that double O and that N at the end. So I see 1, 2, 3 words that start with S. This is an SH. I don't think it's that, and it ends with a K. This one starts with an S, but it ends with a TH, so I don't think it's that one, so it must be this one, soon. Yep, nice. Okay, so you're gonna do that with numbers 2 through 10, so I'll read 2 through 10 for you. Number 2, it starts like hat and ends like cook. Number 3, it starts like well and ends like hood. Number 4, it starts like small and ends like tooth. Number 5, it starts like shed and ends like book. Number 6, it starts like blend and ends like room. Number 7, it starts like ant and ends like brother. Number 8, it starts like goat and ends like food. Number 9, it starts like dot and ends like toes. And number 10, it starts like tail and ends like booth. All right. Now let's take a look at math. So for math, you're going to go to Google Classroom and you will click on the 11-3 assignments, and that's where you'll find the video. And then you've got problems on the student page, the worksheets, you've got a game, and then there are some extension worksheets. All of these you can do. I'm going to go ahead and read some of the problems on these pages. So if you'd like to stick around for that, go ahead and stay with the video. If you wouldn't, then I'm not going to talk about anything else other than that. So you can feel free to end the video. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the student pages. Okay, so you can go ahead and just skip this front page here. You can do it and follow along with the video, but it's okay to skip. All right, let's take a look at the inside here. So the insides for number 1 through 6, it says write each number sentence. So for example, they had to write this number sentence for themselves, but up here they had the subtraction problem drawn out. So you need to count the entire 10 blocks, and there are 60. There are 4 of them crossed off, which means 40 of them are crossed off. So 60 minus 40 equals 20, and there's 20 left over. So for 2 through 6, you're going to count how many tens blocks there are, write that here. Then you're going to see how many are crossed off. That's how many are subtracting. And then you're going to write that here and then see what's left over, what's not crossed off. And then you'll write the difference, the answer here. Okay. For the do you understand, it says which digit changes when you subtract tens? Which digit stays the same? Explain. So is it the ones digit, the ones place, that either stays the same or changes? Is it the tens digit or the tens place that either changes or stays the same? So write which is which. For numbers 7 through 12, they have written the subtraction problem for you. Now it's your job to cross off the tens to do the subtracting part and then write the difference, which is the answer. Number 13 says number sense. Write the number that will complete the related addition fact. So you've got 70 minus 20 equals 50. So what would the missing part be in 50 plus blank equals 70? Okay, you know, I always like the journal, so let's look at number 16. Janet wants to solve 80 minus 60. Draw a picture to help Janet find the difference, and then write the subtraction sentence. For number 14, it says Chase has 90 toy cars. 40 of the cars are blue. The rest are red. How many toy cars are red? Write a subtraction sentence to solve. Number 15, Gina collects 70 stamps. She gives 20 stamps to Ross. Which number sentence shows her how many stamps Gina has left? Okay, and then there are Spanish versions underneath here. All right, let's go ahead and go to the worksheets. This is where the reteaching and the practice page are at. You have this inside of that, I think it's like a bluish black book. So this you should at least have a paper copy for. This is just kind of going over counting back by tens. So here's an example up here. You've got 40 minus 20. And so if you counted back 20, it would sound like this: 40, 30, 20. And then you would write how many tens 20 is, which is 2 tens, and then you would complete this by writing the subtraction sentence: 40 minus 20 equals 20. So number 1 is also done for you. Number 2 and 3 you need to do on your own. Again, notice that you are writing the numbers that you would be counting backwards on. Okay, and then on number 3, they didn't draw the arrow for you, so go ahead and do that. There is the page in Spanish. Okay, and then here is our practice page. This one you did very similar things over here for number 7 through 12, where you had the subtraction sentence and you crossed off however many tens were being subtracted. Same thing here. You've got the subtraction sentence, look at what's being subtracted from the whole, and then cross off how many tens are being subtracted, and then write the difference, the answer. Number 5, it says Roberto says that 70 minus 30 equals 30. Is Roberto correct? Explain. So explain why he either is correct or why he is not correct. I definitely want to see a because, or hear that you used a because in your answer. All right, let's take a look at the game. So for the game, there is a little bit of prep you're going to have to do. It's okay if you can't print this out. You need to make some little cards. You can use Post-it notes or scrap pieces of paper and write the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on them. You can flip them over, put them in a bag, just so you know you're picking them at random. You also can just pick a number. You don't have to make the cards if you don't want to. It says play until each player has gotten 5 turns. You are going to point to the number 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90 on the hundreds chart. And then you're going to pick, when they say a tile, they're talking about the numbers that you made. So whatever you put them on paper, or if you're just picking them, pick a number. And then you need to add a 0 to it. So if you print this out, you would put the number here, whether it was 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You just put it right here, and it would become a larger number. So if you put the number 2, it would become 20. If you put the number 5, it would become 50. And this is the number you're going to subtract from one of these 5 numbers: 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90. And then you're going to do that subtraction on the hundreds chart. So if I chose 50 and I pulled the number 2, I would make the number 20 and I would count back 20, 50, 40, 30. And so I went back twice for 2 tens. Something else you can do is start at 50 and then go 10, 20. That's one thing you can do as well. After that, you can talk about why the tens digit changes and the ones digit stays the same when you subtract 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50. Okay, and you've got the game in Spanish down here. I will show you the extension worksheets. I am not going to read them to you. I'll tell you kind of what you're supposed to do. So the enrichment worksheet for today is to write a 2-digit number that is greater than the number being subtracted. The digit in the ones place must be a 0, so then subtract. Okay, so go ahead and do that. You've got quite a few. You've got this in Spanish as well. All right, students. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I will catch you in another video.